Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm going to discuss JSP in today's class. First we'll deal with the introduction. The first technology given for the development of web application is the CGI, that is Common Gateway Interface. With the CGI technology, there are some drawbacks. So Sun Microsystems released another technology called servlets for the development of web applications. While working with servlet technology, Sun Microsystems identified some problems. That is, what are the drawbacks of servlets? Servlet technology needed in-depth or complex Java code. And servlet technology failed to attract the developers or programmers working at other technologies into Sun Microsystems technology side. In order to get the market, Microsoft released a web technology called ASP, that is Active Server Pages. ASP contains a set of predefined tags to develop web applications, but it does not require in-depth coding. To overcome the problems in servlet technology, Microsoft introduced ASP. So the developers are migrated to Microsoft technology side. And in order to overcome the drawbacks of servlet technology and to make competition for ASP, Sun Microsystems released another web technology called JSP. Now, what is this JSP? JSP is a technology used to create web applications just like servlet technology, and it can be thought of an extension to servlet because it provides more functionality than servlet, such as expression language, JSTL, etc. And JSP page consists of HTML tags and JSP tags. And JSP pages are easier to maintain than servlet because we can separate designing and development. And it provides some additional features such as expression language, custom tags, etc. JSP and HTML contains tags, so it is called a server page because server page contains tags written by author, whereas servlet contains Java code written by programmer. Now we'll see some differences between servlets and JSPs. Servlet needs lot of Java coding, whereas JSP needs simple tags. In Servlet, if we modify the code, then we need to recompile, reload, and restart the server. It means it is a time-consuming process. Whereas in JSP, if we modify the code, then just we need to click on the refresh button and recompiling, reloading, restarting are not required. So it is not a time-consuming process. In Servlet, we need to implement business and presentation logic combinedly. It is not possible to separate business logic and presentation logic, and we call this problem as a page-centric problem. Whereas in JSP, we can separate the business logic from presentation logic by writing Java Bean technology. So page-centric problem is eliminated in JSP. In Servlet, we don't have implicit objects. That is, if we want to use an object, we need to get the object explicitly from the server. Whereas in JSP, we have implicit object support. And in Servlet, by default, session management is not enabled. We need to enable explicitly, whereas in JSP, session management is enabled. And Servlet accepts all protocol requests, whereas JSP only accepts HTTP protocol requests. In Servlet, packages are imported at the top, whereas in JSP, packages are imported anywhere, that is at the top or bottom or middle. In servlet, service method needs to be overridden, whereas in JSP we cannot override JSP service method. In servlets we have three scopes, that is request scope, session scope, and context scope, or the application scope. Whereas in JSP we have four scopes, that is page scope, request scope, session scope, and application scope. Servlet only supports dynamic including, whereas JSP supports both static and dynamic including. Now, what is a JSP actually? JSP is another web technology given by Sun for the development of dynamic web pages onto client browser. A JSP is called as a page but not a program because JSP contains totally tags. And a servlet is a program because we insert complex business code. And JSP page writer is called an author, whereas servlet programmer is called developer. Every JSP is internally converted into servlet by the container or server. A JSP page contains both HTML tags and JSP tags. HTML tags produce static output and JSP tags produce dynamic output. Because of JSP tags, we call JSP as dynamic web page. So this is about the JSP. And so I'll continue in the next class. So this is about introduction to JSP. Hope you understood. Thank you.